tide is changing. Major market indices are about to break their year-long downtrend, and Bitcoin is following along for the ride. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Svenson, and today is January 23rd. Today we're seeing the S&P 500 punch up over 1% right along the year-long downward sloping resistance. And people are wondering, why is this happening right now? Well, the Fed is now making it abundantly clear that they are eyeing up quarter-point rate increases instead of 50 basis points. Today, Forbes is reporting that the U.S. Federal Reserve is all but certain to raise rates by 0.25% when it announces interest rates at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, February 1st. The futures market is also starting to bet on a complete pause in rate hikes. Today, it was like a 38.5% chance of a complete pause. It's unlikely that they're going to pause in February, but they are reducing rate hike velocity, and the market is now eyeing up a complete pause from the Fed. Essentially, the market is now agreeing that the Fed has been too aggressive and they need to dial back. On top of that, the Bank of Canada hits its peak. The Bank of Canada is set to raise rates one last time on Wednesday with a 25 basis point hike. And also the ECB, the European Central Bank, has stepped down from 75 to 50 basis points in December. And now they're talking about how they need a couple more 50 basis point hikes, and then they're also going to switch to 25 basis points. So there's now a worldwide effect of central banks easing up on rates, reducing rate hike velocity, and getting closer to their terminal rates. And this is why we're seeing the S&P 500 today really close to the downtrend line, actually sitting right on the downtrend line. And it appears that the S&P is possibly ready to break out and shift the trend finally. After over a year now of downside, lower high after lower high, we may be seeing a shift. And something you'll notice about the S&P 500's daily chart is every time we hit the resistance, we reject right back down and we just test lower low after lower low. And now for the S&P recently, going into the new year, we formed a higher low right at the turn of the new year. And that is the first real higher low in this trend so far in the past entire year. We've never hit the resistance line and created a higher low. And that's what we're doing now. So this is giving a possible indication that the market is becoming a little bit more confident, and the market is forward looking. So the market is trading based on future events. The market is always making preemptive moves based on future events, which is the Fed pausing rates at some point this year. And Bitcoin, of course, is following the stock market as usual. And I just want to mention what's happening with the S&P on the 4-hour chart. Right now, we are seeing a little bit of resistance, so there's no confirmation just yet of a full breakout. So maybe we get some sort of consolidation here before a further move. I'm starting to think that the breakout is more and more likely as time goes on. Yesterday on this channel, we discussed Bitcoin's 4-hour chart is forming a parabola, and I still think that is the case. Bitcoin dipped a little bit yesterday, but we found a higher low so far. That's what it seems like, and we're now trading right around 23,000. After a year of downside, Bitcoin shifts, starts making higher highs on the daily, and now we're seeing higher lows in the short term with no immediate rejections. This is a very clear indication that the Bitcoin market is also front-running the future events of this year, the Fed reducing rates, hitting terminal velocity, and pausing at some point this year. So this is why the markets are behaving the way that they're behaving. Like I said in one of my previous videos, it might not make sense right now why the market's so bullish. It might seem like it's almost premature, but again, the market is forward-looking. Just want that to be clear. So all of these updates coming out of the central banks worldwide, this is what's changing the tide for markets. This is why we're seeing this type of action. You know, a lot of people don't realize that the market is forward looking. So they are waiting for the Fed to pause or whatever. And then a lot of people think that that's when the market should go up. No, the market's going to do it ahead of time, right? That's how you make the money. You see the events before they take place and you bet on that well in advance, and that's what the market's doing. And looking at Bitcoin's downtrend that stems back to 69K in 2021, we have now closed a few dailies. A few daily candles have closed above the macro downtrend line, and we also back tested the macro downtrend line as new support. And as I'm making this video, Bitcoin is coming back up above 23,000. There doesn't seem to be all that much selling going on anymore. The environment is shifting. And I think as people realize the things I'm explaining, there's gonna be a lot of money on the sidelines that floods back into this market. And a lot of people are going to get left in the dust to FOMO in at higher levels, though that is absolutely not the right thing to do. But I think that that's likely going to happen here. And like we talked about in yesterday's video, I think it's very likely that Bitcoin is going to be heading up towards the $30,000 level. We may not hit exactly 30. Maybe we blow straight through 30. I don't know. But 28,800 is a very key level from 2021 that is the most significant previous support level, which in classic TA is suggesting that it is the most likely resistance zone, the hardest resistance zone to get above. So I think that's where we're heading next. I think that things are going to get much more bullish, much faster than everyone expects, and that's usually how this goes. Bitcoin got bullish right at the moment when nobody thought it would. But the downtrend that began at the end of 2021 began because the Fed was increasing rates. They were making it very obvious that they were going to be very aggressive with rate hikes moving into the future. And the market preemptively started to sell off in anticipation of that. And now the market is preemptively bouncing, running up in anticipation for Fed pauses. So that's really what you need to know. And that's what's happening. That's why all this is happening. But I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I hope you like the cinematic intros. I like to spice it up, give you something different. Smash the like if you like this kind of content. Subscribe if you're new. And also be sure to take the limited offer for BitGet. Deposit $200, get $20. It is only available for a limited amount of time, and it's only available to the viewers of this channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for 70,000 subscribers, and I'll see you all in the next one.